Welcome to Afghannews with Mohsen Jamal. President Hamid Karzai on Thursday backed a decision by Afghan election authorities to kick 9 lawmakers out of parliament in a bid to end a vote-rigging row which has lasted nearly a year. The Independent Election Commission made the ruling this week, but it has so far failed to calm the long-running storm over alleged vote fraud in last September's parliamentary elections. Its decision was rejected on Wednesday in a vote by the lower house of parliament and prompted hundreds of angry protesters to take to the streets on Tuesday. Karzai spokesman Siama Kirawi said that all issues related to the parliamentary election are considered ended in the recent ruling of the IEC as enforceable and implementable. The IEC was assigned by Karzai to make the final ruling in the nearly year-long row. An elderly beggar woman was killed and 10 others injured on Friday following a blast in western Afghanistan, police said. The explosion took place near the police headquarters of Herat city, which borders Iran, and Nur Khan Negzad, police spokesman for Herat, said that the explosive was set inside a vegetable cart. Negzad added that 2 of the wounded are said to be in critical health condition. No group has so far claimed responsibility for the attack. Elsewhere, 5 civilians were killed when warplanes of NATO-led troops carried out an airstrike against Taliban in Logar province, a spokesman for the provincial administration said on Friday. Elsewhere, at least 2 civilians have been killed and 14 were wounded in an explosion at a mosque in the northern Faryab province Friday. Barialai Bashariyar Parwani, the provincial police chief, said that the explosives were hidden in a motorcycle and went off when the people were leaving the mosque after the Friday prayers in the Almar district of the province. Parwani added that all the victims were civilians. No group has so far claimed responsibility for the attack. An unmanned U.S. drone crashed in southwest Pakistan near the Afghan border Thursday night, the Pakistani military said. The aircraft came down near Chaman, a town near the Afghan-Pakistan border in the southwestern province of Baluchistan. A military statement said, adding that the wreckage has been recovered and the military is investigating while the cause of the crash is not known. In recent years, the United States has sharply increased its use of armed drones to target militants in Pakistan's tribal region. The Covered CIA drone program has been deeply unpopular with many Pakistanis who say the attacks kill civilians and are a violation of their country's sovereignty. India's anti-corruption campaigner Anna Hazare kept chipping at government with his demand for a strong anti-graft legislation as he is fast at Ram Leela grounds in New Delhi entered 11th day on Friday. The movement has gathered overwhelming momentum and is being avidly supported by Indian masses from all walks of life, including housewives, students, retired government officials, and professionals, among others. Post a routine check-up on Friday morning, doctors said that Hazare has lost 7 kilos, but his health is stable. But Hazare is determined not to break his fast till his demand for an effective anti-corruption law is accepted by the government. Meanwhile, India's ruling Congress Party's next prime ministerial candidate Rahul Gandhi on Friday broke silence over Hazare's fast and the protests that are taking place across the country. The debate on Hazare's proposals to create a powerful anti-corruption agency may take place on Saturday, as Parliament struggled on Friday to agree on the wording of several of the proposals. Libyan rebels have stepped up their assault on the capital Tripoli, storming the Abu Salim neighborhood as they continue to clear pockets of resistance in what is seen as the last stronghold of Muammar Gaddafi. Rebel fighters swept through houses and side streets to flash out snipers and were emerging with dozens of prisoners as gunfights were going on. Meanwhile, fighting continued in several other key areas, including the Tripoli neighborhoods of Ghargour and Bab al-Azizia. Gaddafi's hometown of Sirte was also still not under rebel control as of Friday. The rebel brigades heading there from the east were pushed back by air and ground counteroffensives. The fighting came as the rebel National Transitional Council announced that it would transfer its leadership to Tripoli from its Benghazi base. The United States has demanded the government of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad stop brutalizing peaceful opponents, citing in particular what it called a targeted brutal attack on Syria's most popular political cartoonist. Ali Farzad was attacked after he left his studio early on Thursday and was beaten by masked gunmen who broke his hands and dumped him on the roads outside the Damascus airport. Meanwhile, activists reported at least 8 people killed by security forces in street protests overnight, a day after 11 civilians and 8 soldiers were killed. Human rights groups also reported Assad's forces have killed more than 2,000 people since the uprising against his autocratic rule erupted in mid-March. Amid the increasing violence, the European Union and the United Nations announced plans for more sanctions against Assad's government. A car bomb blew up near a Shiite mosque in the southern oil hub of Basra on Thursday, killing 4 people and wounding dozens, security officials said. The car bomb was said to target people as they emerged from the Dawood al-Ashur mosque in southern Basra's Abu Khasib district, according to Ali Ghanim al-Maliki, head of the Basra Provincial Council Security Committee. He said that in addition to the 4 dead, 34 were wounded. A hospital source said the blast in Basra killed 3 and wounded 50. Some security sources said the bomb was detonated by a suicide bomber. The explosion set fire to cars and shops near the mosque. This comes as a series of car bombs and suicide blasts across Iraq killed at least 14 people and wounded scores more on Thursday. In that, at least 53 people have been killed and a dozen more injured after gunmen burst into a casino in the northern Mexican city of Monterrey and set it on fire. And Adrian de la Garza, the prosecutor for Nuevo Leon state, of which Monterrey is the capital, told reporters outside the massive casino that Thursday's attack had left 53 people dead, adding that the death toll could still rise. The incident at Casino Royal represented one of the deadliest attacks on an entertainment center in Mexico since President Felipe Calderon launched an offensive against drug cartels in late 2006. State police officials quoted survivors as saying about 24 armed men burst into the casino, apparently to rob it, and began dousing the premises with fuel from tanks they brought with them. Authorities said a drug cartel was apparently responsible for the attack. And that's all for now. Thanks for staying with us.